I'm not even going to attempt to lie to you. I'm not going to tell you a white lie. I'm not going to tell you a partial lie. The truth is, this is likely the worst season y'all will have in the last 5 years.
Shut up the Bills! It's not a house game! It's not a house game!
Yeah, we the Buffalo Bills. Yeah, we the Buffalo Bills. You better know that. Look how we throwing and catching, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. You better know that. Look how we running and hitting, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. Reppin' the mafia, yeah. Reppin' the mafia Bills, yeah. You better know that. Look how we throwing and catching, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. You better know that. Look how we running and hitting, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. Homie, now listen. Everyone play their position. Buffalo got a tradition. They say we tripping. They better get out our way. Top of the table, we flipping. We on a mission. Got an unstoppable team. Continue to follow your dream by any means. Buffalo, get in the Super Bowl ring. Cause we the Buffalo Bills. Yeah, we the Buffalo Bills. You better know that. Look how we throwing and catching, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. You better know that. Look how we running and hitting, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. Reppin' the mafia, yeah. Reppin' the mafia Bills, yeah. You better know that. Look how we throwing and catching, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. You better know that. Look how we running and hitting, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. Mafia up in your city, time to get gritty. Screaming and yelling, we bugging. Look at the red and blue.
This is an MVP year for Josh Allen. As an MVP voter, I said this last week. Josh Allen, he looks like an MVP. When you vote for MVP, and I can speak for myself, I think I'm one of 50 voters, you look at a couple things. Who's the best team in football? Who's the best player on that team in football? What do they look like as the best player on that team in football? And how much talent is around that best player on that best team in football?
Buffalo.
And a good evening, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Coast to Coast podcast. I am your co-host, Beyond 716, and of course here with the one, the only Whittle 2K. Hope everyone is having a great night. We are here for episode 70. Bills bounce back in Detroit, come home for Christmas. Can you believe Christmas is right around the corner? And it's funny, it's episode 70 tonight, Whittle. And before we get to that, I'll explain. I want to give a shout out to our friends here. If you want to follow us here at Do Champions, and Whittle, we already had a shout out for you. Your 150th subscriber on Do Champions. Shout out to Whittle. So thank you, Pete Stakes. We had that waiting for us today. So
what's up, Pete? What's up, man?
So that was great stuff. So congratulations to Do Champions. We're just getting started here. And you could also follow us on our YouTube page as well. And I'm going to put it here for us. If you want to follow us here, Coast to Coast Podcast NJ, for all of our previous content as well. So we have a lot coming up, and it's going to be a big 2025 for Do Champions and the Coast to Coast Podcast. But Whittle, why do we say 70, right? I mean, episode 70 I think the Bills, if my math is correct, well, actually it was more than that. Actually, my math is off. I was thinking we scored 70. We scored so many points in the last 2 weeks, I thought it was 70. So
no,
I stand corrected. 90. So
90.
Yep. And Student is all over it. So we got a lively chat already. So Whittle, how you doing?
I'm great, man. Healthy, much like the Buffalo Bills. Can you believe we are the healthiest team in the NFL right now?
Amazing.
Usually that's not our story this time of year. So we're picking a great time to be healthy. Playoffs are a couple weeks away. I'm good, man. I'm good. How about yourself? I know you got a big trip planned come soon.
Yes, I do. Going across the pond to London tomorrow night, and hoping to make an appearance at the London Bills Backers Club. Not crazy about this 425 flex on Sunday because the game will be extremely late in London. But hey, that's how we do things in Bills Mafia, right? So
Absolutely.
It's all good. I'm on vacation, so we're gonna enjoy it. So hopefully we'll spread the knowledge of Do Champions, and maybe who knows? Maybe we'll get somebody on from Great Britain at some point, Whittle, so we can go international with our podcast. So,
well, that would be nice. That would be nice.
And speaking of international, I think our quarterback is going to start becoming if he's not already, He's certainly going to become more and more of an international star over what we've seen this entire season. But I think it really was encapsulated in what we saw on Sunday. The only word I can come up with is a masterclass, and I'm going to defer to you on that. But that is the one word that I took away from that performance in Detroit against the 12-1 Lions.
Yeah. So I was not expecting that. I did not expect the Bills to perform the way that they performed. Um, Most of the national media didn't as well. I mean, we're fans, so we want our team to win. But at the end of the day, you don't expect the Bills to come out and go. They kick off, get a stop, get the football, score, kick off, get another stop, get the football and score again. And before you knew it, we're up 14-0 against the best offense in football. And it's like, wait, what's going on right now? So, a couple of things, man. There weren't many people in the national media that gave us a shot at that game. I mean, I'm not a national media person, but I thought Detroit was going to win that game as well.
Mm-hmm.
I actually made a bet with a Chiefs fan about the 3 games that followed the Kansas City Chiefs Bills game. So, shout out to Steezy, the Chiefs fan. He said that the Bills will lose 2 of the next 3 games after the Chiefs game, and I said, well, I'll take you I'll take you up on that bet. And so we obviously we beat the 49ers. We lost to the Rams. And then, I was worried because if I lost, I would have had to sing Shake It Off by Taylor Swift in in the litter box space. That was the agreement. However,
so glad, yes.
However, he lost, so he had to sing the Bills Mafia anthem by Benny the Butcher.
That's great.
So yeah, that was
great. Oh, Whittle, that's good. Not saying you don't have a good voice, but that's just one song I didn't want to hear you sing. Yeah, that is for
at
sure.
all.
Especially in the litter box, no question about it. But Whittle, I wasn't here last week, but I was the opposite this week, believe it or not. I was very confident. In fact, I guaranteed a win Sunday morning on Twitter. I just felt like Detroit's issues on their defense. And listen, we've been through injuries, and listen, Detroit's going through it pretty bad right now. I mean, it's something that we can certainly sympathize to. But I think this was more about if we really feel that we're the team that we think that we are, this is the kind of game, this is the response we're looking for, right? National stage, 425, Tony Romo's in the house, right? And let's give and what's funny about this game, Whittle? I can't stop thinking about the defense. And you're thinking, wait a minute, why? Look at Detroit scored 42 points, right?
Right.
But it's like in the Rams game when we scored 42 points. I thought when we scored was important. We didn't score before the half. We didn't come out. We didn't do the double dip that the Bills love to do. We got 0 points. And I think that set the tone for that game. We fell behind 17 and we lost, right? This game, the defense, you look, they gave up almost 500 yards to Jared Goff. 59 attempts, Whittle. I mean, if you throw the ball 59 times, you better throw for over 500 yards. I mean, just cut it in half. It's 25 attempts for 250. That's not a special performance. That's nothing that I would say, wow. But the Bills defense also set the tone early. Like you said, those first 2 stops, Ed Oliver and Demon all game. We're going to get into that especially. But I thought I saw enough, considering who we had out this game as well, especially on the back end of the defense against the most potent offense in the league. I think when they needed to make stops and it was critical. And I think the Bills defense did a lot better than most people think nationally. They say, well, they gave up 42 points. You're not really looking at the big picture.
Right. Well,
that's my opinion. I could be wrong.
Well, what ended up happening was we talked about this, and you were out last week, so Myself and Andy got on from the Andy Irwin from the
Nice.
Put Me in Coach podcast. So we were on together last week and we previewed the game. And, one of the things that I talked about was the game coming down to the defensive tackles. I thought if we had a good game out of our defensive tackles, we would be able to get to Goff on third down situation. I thought that we would defend the run better if we got good pressure or good play out of our defensive tackles. I didn't expect what we actually got. I mean, they ran the football for, what was it, 32 total yards, I believe.
Yeah, I believe Jahmyr Gibbs had 8 carries for 31 yards, if I remember correctly, and David Montgomery had 5 for 4.
Yeah, so when you look at it, at that, like they were one of the best. They're one of the best rushing offenses in the league, man. And when you actually look at what Buffalo did, a lot of teams have not been able to do that. Yeah, so here we go, 8 for 31 for Jahmyr Gibbs, 5 for 4 yards. David Montgomery. That is 13 carries for 35 yards. Sonic and Knuckles. Now, I want to give the Detroit Lions their proper respect. Their offense was basically healthy, but the defense definitely was not. And good teams play complementary football. If your defense is injured heavily, you're gonna have trouble getting off the field. They ran into that. And the Bills were able to kind of get up on top of them and just kind of stay up there and not allow them to get any footing for the rest of the game. But I don't want to poo-poo what the Buffalo Bills did defensively. Like Ed Oliver was an absolute demon that game. He had, where's that Oliver at? He had a sack. He had a total of 4 tackles. He also had like 10 pressures. He also had like 10 pressures. He had a couple of quarterback hits. I mean, he was in the backfield consistently, constantly all night long. And, like Joe Marino said on his podcast on, the Locked On Bills podcast, he said he made the correlation between the Bills' ability to get after the passer and the play of the defensive tackle, mainly at Oliver, and how much defensive line stunts the defense uses. They went out, it was a big game, and they upped that stunt percentage to about 35% this game, somewhere between 30 and 35%. And what do you know? Ed Oliver has a great game. We get after the quarterback. We got a couple of sacks. We got a turnover. I thought that this game was going to come down to whoever won the turnover battle was going to win the game. We ended up winning by 6 points. We were +1 in the turnover battle. So it just like pretty much what we talked about. The keys of victory was what happened. And we had conversations leading up to this game about the MVP race and different things like that, and how Josh Allen needed to assert himself, and how the moments matter more than necessarily the compilation of stats. And this was a signature win for the Bills. The Bills have beaten the best team in each conference. They went and beat the Chiefs in Buffalo, and then they went on the road into Detroit, which is a tough place to play, and won that game. So tons of credit I want to give to Coach McDermott for having those guys motivated and ready to go after a tough loss in LA. Coach Bobby Babich for just that game plan. I mean, when you see the Buffalo Bills line up basically 10 guys on the line of scrimmage, right? In a condensed set, and send a double boundary corner blitz, and have the second level drop into flat zones underneath, and then you have like three guys and drop back into a deep cover three to basically take away the big explosive play if he's able to get the football off. And double corner blitz is like what offensive lineman, what defense, what offensive tackle is expecting to see a double boundary corner blitz. Your outside guys are coming in both at the same time. That early in the game, like who's expecting that? Nobody's expecting to see that. Your running back's not expecting to see that. Like that was a perfect play call. So want to give Bobby Babbitt credit for that.
100%.
Joe Brady, this was probably the best, the best play call, the best play calling he's done maybe in his career. Like that was just, it was a great game. I mean, he just had an answer for everything they wanted to do. They switched. They were running zone. They were running a zone scheme for weeks, and it was working. And it kind of got slowed down last week against the Rams. So you can tell that they had been paying attention to what Buffalo was doing, and they were ready to meet them. They had a defensive plan ready for that zone run scheme. We switch up the gap to gap run scheme in this game. You see a bunch of traps, a bunch of tackle pulls. You see a bunch of pin and pull plays. Matt Collins out there blocking two defenders while guys are while it's a toss play to the outside. I mean, it was a masterclass, just a masterclass from the coaching staff, and they don't really get enough credit. What happens is their mistakes get highlighted. Their mistakes get the spotlight, and then when they do a good job, there are no accolades given to them from their detractors. So game ball all around to the coaching staff. I mean, it was just a great game, man.
It really was, Whittle. And I was thinking about this, and I want to ask your opinion. Well, a couple things, but first of all, Matt Collins, can we just please extend him now? I mean, can we have him back in 2025? I mean, maybe even in 2026. I mean, he just fits. He fits this team so incredibly well. I just can't say enough good things about Mac at this point. But Leo, let's give. I was looking at PFF grades, and not that I'm completely married to the PFF grades, but Ed was a 90.3, which is unbelievable. But let's not forget Daquan Jones had a very good game too. He was rated a 77. He was very active. And even guys like Kareem Jackson did a pretty nice job. Elam had some moments. I mean, there were some really good things. But besides Allen and probably Deion Dawkins, I mean, is Ed Oliver is he the second most important player in this team? Like as Ed goes, so the Bills, it kind of sets everything up. I mean, do you kind of feel that way? I mean, I still got to put Deion there because left tackle is so important, but I feel like Ed is just so integral to this team. It just energizes the entire defense.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know if I don't know for sure that Ed's not more important than Deion. Like I feel like we can get away with Deion missing a couple of games. I feel like we could. I feel like we can, but I don't think we can get away with Ed Oliver not having good games. When Ed Oliver is good, this defense is great. Everything funnel, like it's a funnel. It's almost like a funnel. Like everything plays off of how well Ed and his whoever else is playing a defensive tackle is playing on that particular play. If they are getting consistent push in the pocket, they are occupying offensive linemen, not allowing them to get to the second level. You're keeping your linebackers, you're keeping your slot corners clean. These guys are able to fire downfield, fire through these gaps and make plays for negative yards, man. Like they can make TFLs when you do that. And we get a significant amount of pressure from our defensive ends. there's no place to escape. We watched, last week against the Rams, we watched Matthew Stafford step up constantly over and over and over again
Mhm.
and deliver throws down the field, accurate throws for first downs, on third down, uh, on fourth down. I mean, he made some great throws. They made some great plays, but ultimately we didn't do enough to get pressure into Stafford's face and get him on the ground. We did that this week with Goff. Uh, and kudos to the defense, man. Kyer Elam didn't look great all the time in
No.
coverage, but in man coverage, I thought he did a good. I thought he did a very good job in man coverage of staying sticky. It was one big reception. I think it was like 20 something yards he gave up. But I mean, at the top of the route on that break, you could see Jameson Williams push off, and Kyer loses his footing and gives up the play. But Kyer was right there for the fumble recovery. He was right. He was right in the mix in that. I thought he tackled well. I thought the zone coverage was where he looked, where there's still some improvement needed. I think he could. Uh, I think he can. I think he needs to allow the sideline to be part of his coverage scheme and allow the sideline to help him out. Um, I just thought he hugged the sideline. I thought he hugged the sideline a little too much, and he gave up a potential big play to Sam Laporta. Now, luckily for us, they weren't able to convert it, but
Hmm.
if Kyer's playing a little more towards the Hashins, he probably makes a play on that football.
Yep.
But
Yeah. If I had a,
ultimately,
if
okay, would you say?
oh no, oh no, just one little. I mean, one little thing about the Bills' defense, third down efficiency. What we do have to improve here, right? We're 43.45%. We're 26th in the NFL. They have to.
Right.
If I had to pick out, it's been really bad, of course, the last couple of weeks, and maybe that's partly because look at the offenses we played, right, in a dome-controlled environment. But if I had to pick one thing, I think I really want to see this team improve on, especially when we get to the big players in the AFC coming to playoffs. It's get that percentage and it's somewhere in the 30s, even 38. We usually, I think at 23 we were 38% or 37%, but if we could get down there, it's just going to make things so much easier, for our defense because we get ourselves we make things a little more too difficult for us. Like remember that Jared Goff scramble on third down? I mean, things like that, or the third and 17. Like those are the kind of things we just got to clean up a little bit. That if I again, I thought the defense overall had some good moments, but that's my one thing that sticks out for me over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. Third and 10, you can't let Jared Goff uh run for 11 yards. That you shouldn't do. But I mean, you know what? At the same time, though, these guys on the other side of the ball, they get paid just like on the other side of the ball or on the
Hmm.
other side of the field. They get paid just like the Bills players get paid. They're all competing. They're all trying to win.
Hmm.
Jared Goff was good. I thought
He was.
he did I thought he made some high level throws in that game. Um, I do think we got to him early. I do think we made things uncomfortable for him, but ultimately, I thought he had a good game. I thought watching him as closely as I did this week, he definitely has improved since the last time we've seen Jared. Since what was it, 2022? We played them.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
improved. He has improved greatly as a quarterback. Um, But yeah, the Titans have not. They didn't give up a 100-yard rusher since like 2022. James
Hmm.
Cook, 105 yards on the ground. He had a
Yeah.
nice, I think it was 41-yard run.
Hmm.
Um, Ty Johnson over 100 yards receiving. Uh, Ray Davis with a touchdown reception. I mean, these guys. It was just a complete game. It was a complete game. Tons of credit all around to the offense, the defense. Offensive line was excellent. You could see Josh is kind of sitting back there and patting the football. And
Hmm.
not only do we have a really good supporting cast as far as like the offensive line is good, these wide receivers, while they may not be the most talented group in the NFL, they they work hard to make plays for each other. if you tell Mac Hollins or Amari Cooper to run a clear route for Khalil Shakir underneath, they're gonna run that route like they know they're getting the football, like they're running that route like they're gonna get the football, and they know they're not. And it frees
Mhm.
up guys underneath. I thought Kincaid was excellent. Knox again, made plays downfield, but ultimately it comes down to 17. And while the team was really good, 17 was on another level. Some of the throws that he made in this game, elite level throws, man, elite level throws. The Obviously everybody wants to go to the Kincaid throw, which was a really
Mhm.
good throw.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm gonna go to the. I mean, everybody wants to go to the Coleman throw, right?
Yeah.
Where he tells him go downfield, and he basically throws a rope 50 yards down the field right into the same spot where Stephon Diggs dropped the football last year in the playoffs, right? Right in the
Mhm.
numbers, directly in the chest, right over his head, boom. Perfect pass. Keon makes the play. And backtrack to what I was saying before about guys making plays, Keon makes that play. Two guys are trying to wrestle him to the ground. Mac Hollins comes from behind and pushes the pile. The two guys that were trying to tackle Keon pushes them up the field for another 5 or 6 yards. And
Mhm.
we're that much closer to the end zone. Like, I mean, those are the plays, man, where you just tip your hat, man. You really got to
Yeah.
tip your hat to this team and what they've been able and what they're doing. But man, I throw the Kincaid on that. I mean, they look like they're in like a cover two man
Mhm.
uh call, and it's just, man, it was just a really high level throw, man. High
Mhm.
level throw
Yep.
to drop it in the only spot where um in the only spot where he can get the football, you know.
Mhm.
Look, it's just a really good, it's just a really, really, really good play, man. Really good
Yeah.
call. Kincaid runs a great route, and um, no, it makes a play, man, and he makes a play.
Mhm.
I just, I'm just, I was just in awe. I was just in awe at how well these guys played. It was,
100%. Something I was talking about with a friend of mine after the game, Mookie brought up today in our space, and I
mhm.
thought it was great. And I feel like the game has really slowed down for Josh Allen, right? We're in year 7. He just looks to me just I mean, he's never been kind of like a frenetic type guy, neurotic type person or anything like that, but he just looks like he's in such command right now, Whittle. He's got complete synergy with Joe Brady, with his teammates, right? His whole aura, everything that's going on, right, in his personal life and on the field, it's just showing. And I just think he's maybe getting to that point. He's 28 years old. There's a big difference between a 24-year-old and a 28-year-old. We know it personally. I know it, right? I was way different. And Josh is just getting to that point now. He's really maturing, and I just think everything is just slowing down for him. And I think the best is still yet to come. And we've seen incredible things from Josh Allen. I think there's even another gear that we haven't even seen yet, and I think we're starting to see it now.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, he was locked in. Like you could see
Hmm.
it all over his face. And one of the complaints we had, well, I know that I had last week, about Josh. I was like, man, like, it took Josh almost a whole half to get kind of into the game or involved in the game against the Rams. And I thought that time that was some precious time that we missed out on.
Hmm.
Um, but this week, man, I mean, like start to finish, dude was locked in,
Yeah.
100%, like just locked all the way in. I just want to show this. I just want to show this play, man, because I really feel like um Let me fix this.
Sure.
There we go. All right. Yeah, this is it.
The legs, Jim. He's on the back.
Allen going long. Perfect pass. Right over the shoulder.
Come on,
Kincaid.
bro.
This is not fair.
Come on, man. That is a high level throw. Man coverage, safety coming over the top. You can't put it too far in front. You definitely can't underthrow it. You can't take too much off of it. And you don't want to lead him too far to where you lead him too far to the left. He can't get his feet in bounds, or you can't put too much air under it because you don't want to give the defender but that's trailing an opportunity to play through the receiver's hands. That's a high level throw, man. It's a high level throw.
I can't even get mad at the defense on that play, Whittle. That's from their point of view too. I can't get that upset about the coverage there.
Right.
That throw is incredible. I can count on my hands how many quarterbacks who make that throw. Maybe even less than that. Maybe just one
But in
finger.
this game, 2 punts, both by the Lions. Bills have driven it the distance the first 3 times they've had it. Here's Allen slipping out of a sack. Looking way down the field. There's a man's got a step. And it's caught. It's caught all the way inside the 10-yard line.
Still trying to figure this thing out, guys.
Oh, that's
Fighting
awesome.
all the way down to the 5 is Keon Coleman.
There you go.
Let's try this again.
In this game, 2 punts, both by the Lions. Bills have driven it the distance the first 3 times they've had it.
Play action.
Here's Allen slipping out of a sack. Looking way down the field. There's a man's got a step.
And watch Matt Collins.
It's
Watch Matt
all the way
Collins.
inside the 10-yard
Yeah,
line.
good point. You know
what?
what? I just noticed that you mentioned that.
He's a dog, bro. He is a dog. He is a dog.
Yep. But isn't that an indication of this team right now and just how together they are?
Very unselfish. Very unselfish. Yeah.
Yep.
What was the other thing I wanted to point out? So, Bills fans, you understand 2018 Josh was just, learning, more of a runner than anything else. 2019, very erratic as a passer still working on, some technique and timing throws. We ran a lot of comeback routes in 2019. 2020, trained for Diggs. Josh goes crazy, announces himself to the rest of the league. 2020 Josh might have missed that throw or not been patient enough to take it. Soon as he escaped, 2020 Josh is probably taking off upfield. And he's going to get 10 to 12 yards, maybe a little more because he's going to lower his shoulder or whatever, make a guy miss, and then, the play will be over. But 2024 Josh is not going to trade the potential tackle or impact from going against defenders, the physical strain that it's going to take off and run, and you're only going to get a third of the yards. Maybe he gets 20 yards. This was a 64-yard game. 64 yards. One play. So he, just a highlight. I mean, the way how Josh is playing right now. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know when the last time we've seen a court. I mean, maybe Mahomes when he threw for 55,000 yards and 50 touchdowns. Maybe that year, like that's probably what's comparable to this. Like I wouldn't even put. I would put the way Josh is playing right now, I would probably put that over Lamar's 2019 MVP and the
Agree.
back-to-back MVPs. Now, don't get me wrong. 2019, Lamar Jackson was absolutely amazing, but it
Mhm.
was something that the league had not seen before.
Yep.
It was brand new. Like the stuff that he was doing, his ability outside the pocket. I mean, nobody was ready for that. He caught the league by storm. He caught the league by surprise, and nobody figured it out until the following year.
Well,
Even with
ladies and
Aaron
gentlemen,
Rodgers,
yeah,
I'm
we have breaking news in our group chat in our chat here, and Dale has come in, and our buddy Dale. We need a Whittle apology for him. My man said all of season is maybe the best collective of wide receivers Allen has ever had. True. I could have sworn I heard Romo say that in the broadcast. I know more national pundits are. He may be writing more, but I just want to put that out there, Whittle, because that's something that was not the norm that we heard all off season that you went down that road. So yes, we should have drafted a Whittle apology form and sent it on Twitter. Have a lot of people sign it.
listen, man. I'm not. I appreciate that, um, but like Joe Marino says in his podcast, the
Mm-hmm.
answers are in the film. The answers are in the film.
Yep.
And when he said that, I remember coming up listening to other networks and watching their film room review and things like that, and learning just kind of learning what to look for, kind of trying to get a deeper understanding of the NFL and of the Buffalo Bills. And I mean, when you really get into the film, you see it, man. You really do see it. It's
Mm-hmm.
you really see this stuff. And I remember last year when we played the Commanders, and I remember watching Curtis Samuel. I'm like, yo, this Curtis Samuel dude is a dog. Like he is killing us. He had that big play against Benford down the sideline. He ran like a post corner route. I mean, he had a post corner option. He took the corner. Sam Howell delivers the ball, catches the football on. Oh no, I'm sorry. I think that was a wheel. It might have been a wheel route. I'm not certain what it was, but he beats Benford down the field. We know Benford is one of the stickiest corners in the NFL. He beats Benford down the field, makes a catch. Um, really just kind of cooked him. I mean, and then on other plays, I don't know. Like I saw something in Samuel. I said, "Yo, this kid Samuel is tough, man." I've loved Mac Hollins since he was with the Raiders. Like I remember, who were they playing? I think it was the Raiders Cardinals game.
Mm-hmm.
This was a few years ago. Mac Hollins was killing people. Oh my, he was killing people. I mean, he was a dog that game, and statistically, it's not going to show up. I think that game he may have only had like 4 receptions, but if you go and
Mm-hmm.
actually watch him play, like watch him run block, watch him
Yeah.
run routes, watch him do the little things. They
Mm-hmm.
all show up, man. They all show up. Um, and I just thought his size, his willingness to run block, his ability to be a mismatch in the red zone, um, his catch radius, his ability to make Josh right, even when Josh may not throw a great football because of his size and his catch radius. He's going to make your quarterback right sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
It's all good, RJ.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
were there.
can't hate on Mac, bro. Can't hate on Mac, man. I mean,
Yeah.
I thought Mac was an excellent pickup. I
Yep.
wasn't a fan of the MVS signing. I did like the Claypool pickup. Um,
That was yep.
yeah, and then me, Kush, Ben, shout out to them. We were on Keon Coleman in like September, October. Like, yeah,
Yes, we were
this
talking
dude
about
needs to
Keon
be a
Coleman.
Buffalo Bill. Yes,
We had how many shows
Keon.
about Keon Coleman?
Too
Several.
many, man. Too many.
Yes, too many.
I'm
I
glad
agree.
somebody. I mean, maybe I don't know if they were listening or not,
Mhm.
but I'm going to take credit as if they were. I'm glad somebody was listening because I
We had
definitely was
plenty.
pushing that agenda, just like I'm
Yep.
pushing the Deion Walker agenda. 6'6", 350 pounds. He get him, get him.
You
He's
sold me
6'6",
on one.
350
Mhm.
with long arms. The kid, they play him on the edge. Throw him next to Ed Oliver. He is Chris Jones part two. He's Chris Jones Jr. I'm telling you, this guy's going to be a stud. But that's another conversation, another topic for another time.
Lots of amazing draft talk on the way, but hopefully we don't have to worry about it till late February for us Bills
Absolutely.
fans. But the one thing about the wide receiver core, and just to kind of tie it in, and I know Dale's in there, is in hockey with like the Sabres. Their problem is you have to build players to do certain roles, right? And you look at our wide receiver room, right? Like Mac Hollis. Yes, a lot of fans fall into this, and sometimes I'm guilty of it too, right? You have more of a fantasy football look. Oh, if we get all these great weapons, I can all do these same things, but they don't fit right? Mac Hollis fits
Right.
exactly what he needs to do, right? And you pointed that out a lot in the offseason, right? Keon Coleman fits a very specific role on this team as well. Like, it's not all about getting, oh, let's just go out and get Tyreek Hill, so let's go out and get all these great guys together, right? That sometimes it doesn't work that way. So I think that's very important to note and something we should never lose sight of as we go forward.
Yeah, I just thought that combination of Matt Collins being a big body target would give Josh an option if he needs to just kind of get rid of the football, give a guy a chance, 50-50 ball or whatever. Cool. You got a guy like Matt Collins, you got a guy like Keon Coleman that they're gonna go and compete for contested catches.
Mm-hmm.
The other addition to that was Curtis Samuel. I thought Curtis Samuel was a guy who could use
Mm-hmm.
his speed to stretch defenses and keep safeties honest. I thought that he was the type of guy that you could use to run coverage off and create underneath for a guy like Kincaid, for a guy like Khalil Shakir. Like those guys, like I just thought that, this combination of receivers would be enough to give Josh all the easy buttons he needed to attack every level of the field. Now, clearly, the one thing that we were missing, which they tried to fix when they brought in MVS, was we needed a guy on the boundary that could beat press man coverage. We didn't have that. MVS was supposed to be that guy. He never developed into it for us. So they went out and traded for Amari Cooper, and Amari Cooper last week against the Rams had 14 targets. He had like 10 receptions. I mean, he was definitely balling. Uh, but this week, no targets, no receptions, no nothing.
Mm-hmm.
No nothing. So, and he was all smiles after the game. Like he was
Yep.
happy. The
Yep.
man did a bunch of cardio and blocked. Like you know what I'm saying? So when you have guys like that are willing to sacrifice their own statistical output for the betterment of the team, you have to you're headed in the right direction, man. And the Bills,
Yep.
I mean,
100%. And maybe he won't be happy with that every week, but this week in particular, right? Like you said, you said this when we got Amari Cooper, just his presence on the field, that the coordinator they have to account for him. It opens things
they
up
got to.
for some of the players. Yep. Even if he doesn't.
They got to.
Yep.
Yeah. So and listen, shout out to the chat, man. We're approaching 300. Listen, I need everybody in the I need everybody that's watching right now. Please go to YouTube. Just hit the subscribe button. Even if you don't ever watch our video again, hit the subscribe button. It helps us out. Make sure you hit the like as well.
Yep.
It definitely helps. It definitely helps the channel out. We would appreciate if you could do that. What else? What else we got?
Yep.
Because I do want to put a bow on the Lions game and get into the Patriots. So all around big win. A lot of things that people said that we couldn't do. They said that we couldn't stop the run. We stopped the run, guys. And now the new narrative is the Bills defense is giving up too many points. Okay, well, show me another wide receiver wide receiver quarterback combo in the AFC that we have to deal with that's comparable to Matthew Stafford, Puka Nacua, and Cooper Kupp. There isn't one.
Yep.
There isn't
Whittle,
one.
we're still DVOA. We're still 10th. I mean, we're still 10th in the NFL. We're 7th in defensive rushing DVOA and 11th in pass. Now, again, sometimes the numbers can lie. Sometimes the eye test can not lie, but it could deceive, right? We talked about this at the opening, right? 59 attempts for 497 yards is not as great of a game. And that's it. Goff played well, like we said, right? But when you throw for 60 times, you better throw for at least almost 500 yards. I'm just saying,
Yeah,
right?
we
So the
call that
things
a
that we
volume.
did,
We call that a volume shooter in
yeah,
basketball.
yes. Yeah, there are
If
a
you
few of those
if
in the
you shot
NBA.
30 times and scored 30 points, that's not a good game. I'm
No,
sorry.
you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, Will. It's more about efficiency, and Detroit, just to put a bow on it, I thought Detroit should have played this like we did. Remember when we played the Dolphins and we had a lot of players out on defense? We tried to limit their possessions, and that's where I think we went in and said, hey, if we could stop their running game, we could force them into this type of game where they're not limiting our possessions, where they're not controlling with the running game and controlling the clock. We want as many possessions as we can because we know we can outscore them, right? So kudos again to the defense setting the tone, dictating it early. So that's my bow on the Detroit game.
Yeah, and last comment I'll make. I agree with Dan Campbell on the onside kick. It just worked out terribly. We got a good bounce. Matt Collins took it up the field and got inside the 5. How often is that going to happen? Not often. So, I mean, he did a great job of he tried to get extra possessions. He tried to get extra possessions to get back in the game. Just didn't work out that way. And that's fine.
Yep.
On
Well,
to
you
the
mentioned,
Patriots.
yep, and on to the Patriots. Just my first initial thought, Whittle. Now, speaking of 2018, Josh, we're seeing New England have their kind of version of 2018, right? With Drake May coming in, the rookie quarterback, number 3 pick, I believe, coming in. I mean, he's shown some flashes: 68% completion, 12 touchdowns, 9 picks. I mean, nothing too extraordinary, but I think Drake May has shown some flashes, kind of similar to what Josh Allen. Different, I mean, obviously different percentage on the passes. But this is a team that obviously they're rebuilding. Whittle, right? Their DVOA numbers suggest that they're towards the bottom across the board in just about everything. But Jordan Mayo has them playing hard, right? This team is not going to quit, right? They're building things. They're trying to build a new era in New England, right? So this is not a team that's gonna lay down. So, but what are your initial thoughts on Drake May as on things?
Drake May's the real deal. I thought for a while it was like I thought I still feel this way. I feel like the best quarterback in this draft class did not go number 1. I question. I do think Drake. I do think Drake May is a really good quarterback. I think Jaden Daniels is the best quarterback in this draft class that we just had. But I think Drake May and Caleb Williams are like neck and neck at being like the second from a talent standpoint. I mean, there isn't a throw that he can't make. He's a competitor. He comes from that North Carolina system where I mean they are in shotgun, they are throwing the football down the field. He's athletic, the kid can run a little bit. He's a gamer, man. And I will say like he's got a lot more talent around him than Josh Allen did in 2018.
Yes.
But that talent is going to be elevated because of how good Drake May is. He's going to be a good player for them. But let's get into these numbers a bit. I mean, the Patriots, they ranked there 32nd in scoring, 30th in yards per game, 30th in red zone scoring percentage and touchdowns. They're 30th in offensive touchdowns per game. They're 21st in yards allowed per game. Like, I mean, they're bad on both sides of the football. Now they are dealing with injuries. Christian Barmore is out. He's been out for a while.
Mhm.
He's out for the rest of the year. They've dealt with some roster turnover as well. I think one of the safety. I think Jabril Peppers is out as well. I think
Yep.
he's on the IR. So I mean, they're missing. I mean, they've had injuries on the offensive line that they've had to deal with. City Sal has not, really lived up to his draft stock yet. I do think he will. I think he's a good player. Uh, Christian Gonzalez obviously is a stud. I mean, they have other guys that are really good players. It's just they haven't figured out how to tie it together. Rookie coach, rookie quarterback, ranked at the bottom in a lot of important statistics, going up against the Buffalo Bills, who are still within sight of that number one seed. Patrick Mahomes twisted his ankle. It's a high ankle sprain now, where he may
Mhm.
play or may not play Saturday against a top three um, one of the top three teams in the league at getting to the quarterback and getting the quarterback down in the Houston Texans. So, we'll see. I mean, Christian Harris is back for the Texans as well. I think Stingley's playing great football. It's going to be interesting, man. Like, I mean,
It really
it's going
is.
to be an interesting game. But back to the Patriots. You know, the game's in Buffalo. Uh, they are vying for the number one seed. They're one of those teams that are looking at a top five pick, and they don't. If it was me in that situation, I would not want to jeopardize my draft position. This is a very deep draft, especially if you need defensive line help. Wide receiver, like
Mhm.
this is not wide receiver, running back. This is a very, 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 very loaded draft for some key position spots. So, um, nobody. I mean, the national media is they're all picking the Buffalo Bills. I'm picking the Buffalo Bills. You're picking the Buffalo Bills. Like they're a bad
Mhm.
team. You know,
Mhm. They are. And this is one of
Barmore's
those.
back. No, Barmore's not back.
Is
Barmore's
he?
on the IR. Hold
I
on.
thought, is Barmore back? I saw that and kind of caught my attention, but he may
Oh,
be.
he is back. Oh
He
my!
is back. Good
I did
call.
not know that.
Good call, Steve. Appreciate that. That
Okay,
I
my
did
fault.
not
My
know he
fault.
was back either.
I
You know
didn't
the
know it. I
y-
didn't know that.
yeah, I
Wow.
agree with you. There's not a lot to really dissect about this game. I think the biggest key when you play these teams like New England, we play the Jets next week and then New England again, is getting up on these teams early, right? Some of these guys are
Yes.
thinking about Cabo, they're thinking about their plans in the offseason. I don't blame them, right? You don't want to
I
give
gotta
them a
disagree
reason to
with you.
believe.
I gotta
Well,
disagree
yeah,
with
you know
you
what I
here.
mean. I mean, not all, but you know what I'm trying
No,
to
no,
say.
no. I don't think any. No, honestly, I think these are dangerous teams. They're division opponents, number one,
Yeah, that's
and
true.
they're young guys, and a lot of them are young guys that
Hmm.
aren't guaranteed to be there next year. So
Hmm.
this is a team that's going to get he's been back for the last 3 weeks. All
Yep.
right, my bad, my
And
fault, my
shout
fault.
out, J Mick.
Pepper
Good to
came
see you in
back two
here.
weeks ago. Okay,
Hmm.
yeah, he's in there. Um,
Hmm.
well, CJ Mick, you know what? I should have threw out the bat signal, man, and brought you on. That's on me. I
Two
got you in the
weeks,
next
couple weeks.
two
Yeah,
weeks. Yeah,
J
two
Mick.
weeks we're running back.
Love to have
Um,
you on.
yeah, me and Jay Mick do our thing on Saturday too. That was a no
Hmm.
brainer, man. My
Oh, all
fault,
right,
bro. Like
awesome.
I listen, coast to coast family. I apologize. I had the ace in the hole, and I didn't even play it, man. I'm sitting on it. That's
Yeah.
wrong. I apologize,
Now,
man. I should have I
now,
should
as
have I
much as
should have
we
been
like
ready for
Jay
that.
Mick and his, his knowledge of the Pats, I kind of feel bad for the Pats. Well, listen, they have 6 rings. I'm not going to feel too bad about it, but
Feel
just
bad for him.
no, I'm not going to go
Yeah,
there.
right.
But I do
Bro,
understand.
Tom Brady's
You
record
know,
against the Buffalo Bills is 33-3. I don't care about them. I'm
Things are
sorry.
wild there. Yeah, we
And
don't. Yeah.
32 of those wins came when he was a Patriot. Yeah, I don't feel bad for them. No.
But New England's draft status little is pretty precarious. I mean, they're picking third right now. If you go down to number 9, that's 4-10. They're 3-11. There's so many bad teams just lumped in there right? So if you're a Pats fan, you're probably thinking, hey, as much as we're nice to knock off the Bills, and like you said, this is division. Let that Raiders Chiefs game be a cautionary tale. We saw a
Yeah,
couple weeks ago, right? There are some division games, right? You don't think the Jets or New England would love to knock the Bills out of getting the one seed? Of course they would, right? And
oh yeah.
from a
The Jets
competitive point of
definitely.
view, yeah, okay, especially the Jets,
Well, they
considering
can't. They
they can.
stink. Yeah, we're gonna
We'll
steamroll them.
preview that next week.
No,
Yeah.
I'm gonna give the Patriots. If you look at the Patriots roster, like they have talented players in place. It's
Hmm.
just I don't believe it has
Yep.
meshed fully yet. So you have a
Yep.
Cole Strange on the offensive line. Like
Hmm.
you got Javon Baker. You have a Jalen Polk.
Hmm.
You got a Marcus
Yep.
Jones. You got um, Christian Gonzalez. You have guys, right?
Hmm.
You have
Yep.
guys. This is a big. Uh, how can I forget Christian Barmore right in the middle, right?
Yeah.
Keon White, another one. That they play a defensive end. Um,
Hmm.
this is a draft where I mean, if I'm a Patriots fan, I don't care where I pick it as long as it's in the top 10 because I know I'm going to get a really good player.
Yep.
They
Yep.
have a core of good young players that are still on rookie deals. Quarterback is the most important one. They have some receivers. They can get a impact running back in this draft. They can get some interior offensive linemen, and they can get a couple of guys on the defensive side of the ball to
Hmm.
really come in and bolster their rebuild. And it would not surprise me if the Patriots end up being a good team. I expect them to play us tough this weekend. I
Hmm.
do. I do expect them to play
Yep.
us tough. But I also expect the Bills to come out there and, try to jump on them quick. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like play
100%.
action on first down. We're taking shots. We're going after whoever's injured. We're gonna scratch where you itch, and we're gonna take our shots against you. So
Yep.
um
Absolutely. Yep. Got to watch Drake May a little bit. He's got 42 carries for 359. He can run the ball.
yes.
So just keep
Yes.
that in mind. And, for New England this year was all about Drake May for me, the development, right? You saw enough to believe that he could take another step next year. And I think having a guy like Brissett was a great move. I think he's a solid veteran. He's been around the league a long time. He's a
Yep.
total professional quarterback. It was a nice fit, I think, for New England. And if I'm a Patriot fan, I'm kicking back and just saying, let's see what Drake May can do against one of the best teams in the league this week, and
Absolutely.
just see. And they're
Absolutely.
playing with house money, so that's like I said, that's the one thing you got to guard yourself against this week. A let that we've had some emotional games in a row here, right? We had the meat of our schedule, right? Now
Right.
we're just hope that it's another challenge for this staff to say, hey, we got to keep. But again, what if Kansas City wins Saturday, right? And the one's looking bleak, right? That's something they got to guard against because right? The odds are really, really low we're going to get the one if Kansas City wins on Saturday. So I think that's going to be a little bit of a player, maybe a little bit in terms of our intensity come Sunday at 4:25. And let's remember the game is at 4:25 this week, and it's going to be cold. Will it's going to be cold. I believe 16 degrees.
Yeah.
Light winds though, so the winds will not be a factor. So I'm not too concerned about it in that respect for the Buffalo Bills.
Um, no, I'm not either. Uh,
And as far as the
I,
final score goes, Whittle, here's my only question to you. Do the Buffalo Bills become the first team in NFL history to score 30 plus points 9 straight weeks?
yeah, like the thing is though, like Josh Allen is breaking all types of records, bro. Like, I mean, he's doing
Mm-hmm.
everything.
Yeah.
So,
I'm
I
good.
mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't surprise me at all.
Mm-hmm.
Any of this stuff.
I'm calling
So yeah,
31-13 this week.
Josh
Mm-hmm.
Allen has a chance to be the first quarterback, with it was the second quarterback to rush for 10 or more touchdowns and to throw for 30 or more. The other guy was Cam Newton. Do you
Wow.
remember what Josh Allen's touchdown numbers, passing and throwing were last year?
I believe he had 29 and 15, if I remember correctly.
He could have did it, bro. He could have did it last year. He could have did this last year. He's gonna do it this year, and then he'll probably do it again next year.
Yep.
So, and let's address a couple of narratives really quick. I know I'm not gonna hold you too much longer, and when you gotta go,
No, we're good.
let me know.
All good. Sure.
Let's address a couple of narratives. Josh Allen is stealing rushing touchdowns from his running back. That is a lie. Okay. If you see somebody on social media saying that, they're lying to you. And it's okay to tell them that they're lying. Do you know who's second in touchdowns, rushing touchdowns in the NFL? It would be James Cook. He's tied.
Mm-hmm.
He's tied for second. Guess who's first?
First?
Yes.
Derrick Henry?
No. It's a quarterback.
Josh Allen.
No.
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts.
Pushy. Yes. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So, the narrative that 1 yard quarterback sneaks are stealing touchdowns from the running backs is a dumb narrative, and it's a lie. It's not stealing. James Cook again, double-digit touchdowns. Not only that, but add some context to it. In those plays where it needs drives where they end with a Josh Allen quarterback sneak from the 1, how many plays in that drive has Josh run, scrambled, escaped, and and gotten a first down with his leg? Like, come on, guys. Like, let's just.
Well, if it was as easy as it is to do, more teams would do it, right? Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen have unique skill sets that they can pull that off, and that is not as an easy a play to do as most people think it is. If it was that easy, every quarterback would do it, and they don't.
And what's the difference? And what's the difference between a 1 yard quarterback sneak with a 6'5", 240-pound quarterback versus a shotgun roll out, draw the defense in, pitch to a tight end 2 yards away for a touchdown? Come on, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. You're stealing. 100%. You're stealing touchdowns from your running back because you won't hand it off, Patrick Mahomes. Okay, you're stealing touchdowns now.
Yeah. And how crazy would we sound if we said that, right? If we had that narrative.
Right. And the other thing is, Raven fans, don't get upset that Josh Allen's getting these touchdowns. Your quarterback's 6'2", 200 pounds. That's why you don't do it, because you know he'll get hurt. So don't do that. That's why you can't. Don't do it. You don't do it because you can't do it. You don't have a quarterback that can do it. We do.
Yep.
And the object is to score.
Yep. He doesn't have the lower body strength of a Jalen Hurts. He just doesn't. Jalen Hurts is built different.
No.
And see that guy? He's a tank.
You know what I did see? Mm-hmm. You know what I did see? I saw when he sat down to talk to the media, I saw his chain and all them diamonds in it. Let me tell y'all something, okay? I know a little bit about diamonds.
Mm-hmm.
There were no colors in there. His diamonds were colorless. Those are the good ones. I see a lot of you rappers out here with these diamonds. And listen, y'all got way more money than me. But your diamonds are yellow. They looking like Lucky Charms. And that's not good. That means you got bad diamonds. Your diamonds are dirty inside. But that's another conversation, man. I mean, for another day, but you got a lot of you got a lot of faults in them diamonds. You better check them out. But seriously though, it's an easy play to do, and if you have a quarterback that can complete it, you're gonna do it because the object is to score points.
Yep,
they're scoring points. It just is what it is. But I want to get into some of the national stuff. Now, obviously, a lot of national media people are switching up now. We're coming back and talking about how great the Bills are and how Josh Allen has the greatest complement of offensive weapons that he's ever had in his career now. Oh, my gosh. Like, all of these guys, it's amazing how an 11-3 record will change the perception of what your football team or of what your roster looks like. Because now Matt Collins and Khalil Shakir Cooper and Kincaid and all these guys are great. All these guys are really good players now. When in the offseason, we didn't have anybody, but
Yep.
tons of national media people now are shifting their views on the MVP, and they're talking about how the MVP should, because of how statistically dominant Lamar Jackson has been, he should be in great consideration for it. You're not even winning your division, sir.
Yep.
How are you the MVP and you're not winning your division? There are 5 losses. You lost to the Raiders and the Browns.
Will,
Lost to the Raiders and the Browns.
I could simply say this. The last line of defense was the whole Diggs narrative, right? And Diggs was a great receiver. Right. We know that, right? But now that he's gone and they're still seeing what he's doing, they're like, wait a minute. Now I got to look at this for what it is. He's a great player. He is. Even Colin Cowherd said, he said something we've talked about. He's the most physically gifted quarterback in he's ever seen. And he's watching
in the
football
history
50
of football.
Years. And
that
it's true. It's not us being homers. It just look at the size, look at the release, look at it's just, he's got everything. There's nothing. He's elite in every trait. Some of these quarterbacks, they're close, but they don't. There's something that they're missing that Josh has all of them, and that's the real difference. Yeah, it's Bills fans, just enjoy every minute. This is special. We're right in the heart of it. He's right in the prime of his career, and that's the best way I can sum it up.
Remember when we talked after we found out that Josh got engaged?
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that I said was, this might be one of the worst things to happen to the NFL, because now you get a happy Josh Allen that is he is at peace at every level of his life.
Yep.
The locker room, the team, like everybody, everybody's locked in together. He's got peace at home. He's with his. I mean, he's happy.
Yep.
He's happy.
Yep.
Making snow angels with his coach. He is locked in. He's locked in. Mm-hmm. This is not good. And real quick, Bills Mafia, let me go on a mini rant. You are gonna hear on social media and on ESPN and CBS Sports and all these, and you're gonna hear from Dominique Foxworth and Kimberly Martin and Shannon Sharp and these guys, and they're going to tell you all of these reasons as to why Josh Allen should not be separated from Lamar Jackson, or should not be in the same breath. He should not be viewed as better than Lamar Jackson or Joe Burrow because of the things that they've already accomplished that Josh Allen has yet to accomplish. And in a way, they're correct. But do you know why that part of the story is important? It's important because it explains why there's such a push to not give Josh Allen the MVP, for him not to get the MVP award. Because after he gets the MVP award, what can you say now when you compare him to Lamar Jackson, to Justin Herbert, to Jalen Hurts, to Joe Burrow? Once Josh Allen has the hardware of an MVP, of a first-team All-Pro, what do you have left? The only thing left for Josh at that point is to get to a Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl. Because I don't believe that if the Bills go to a Super Bowl, we're going to lose. And I don't care who's on the other side. I don't care if it's Detroit. I don't care if it's the Eagles. I don't care if it's Tampa Bay. I don't care if it's the Rams. I don't care if it's Green Bay. It could be Minnesota. It could be anybody. The Bills get to the Super Bowl, they're not losing. They go to New Orleans, the Super Bowl trophy is coming back to Buffalo. It's going to be in Western New York the following day. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. The Bills get to the Super Bowl, they are going to win it, because the quarterback for the Buffalo Bills is not going to allow that team to lose. And he's got 52 other guys on that team, 47 of them that'll have a jersey that are going to back him 100%. They are locked in. They are willing to do whatever it takes to win a game. You see it every week.
Mhm.
The push to keep Josh Allen from these accolades and these awards is to continue to trash, is to continue to keep him as a second class citizen. And they've been doing it to Buffalo since the 90s. Since the 90s. When you hear people talk about going like the Buffalo Bills, or all you hear about is failure. When you look at Buffalo from the standpoint and compare it to all these other cities that have football teams, Buffalo pales in comparison.
Mhm.
It's middle class, lower. It's lower to middle class, hard workers. The weather stinks. Like you're getting snow. It's crazy.
Mhm.
Like it's not in New York City, which is the most famous part of New York. It's not in Canada. It's close, but it's not in Canada. Toronto's
Yep.
more popular.
Yeah.
You know,
Toronto. Yep. National
Detroit's not
center.
a super far drive. Detroit's got a rich history. Motown, Ford, all of these things. What does
Mhm.
Buffalo have? What does Buffalo have? Scott Norwood,
Chicken
wide right.
wings, Rick James, Goo Goo Dolls.
Yeah,
I mean, there's some things. But it's
there's
not.
some things, but
Yeah.
what is Rick James known for? I mean, he's known for great music. He's also known for a
Yeah.
bunch of bad things too.
Well,
What are the Bills known for? Failure. What are the
some.
Sabres known for?
Oh, don't get me started. Yeah. Well.
Failure.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that's why.
Mhm.
That's why there's such a push to continue this to not
Mhm.
for Josh not to get this award, for the Bills to continue to lose. That's why they always say it. You're just going to lose in the divisional. You're just going to lose to the Chiefs. You're just going to lose to the Chiefs. They never put the
Yep.
context in there about who was injured, who was hurt.
Yep. Yep. They don't want to.
You mean to
But
tell me, do you believe that the Kansas City Chiefs would have won the Super Bowl last year without Chris Jones, L'Jarius Sneed, and Nick Bolton? All three of those guys are missing in the divisional round playoff game against Josh Allen and the Bills. They win that game?
no, they're going
No
home.
way.
They're going
No
home.
way.
Yeah, they're
So
going home.
that's why
Yeah,
there's such a
100%.
push, guys. That's
Oh yeah.
why.
Yep.
They don't want to let us in the
But
door
well,
because
here's the good news.
they
Yeah.
know the moment we get in the door, we kick it wide open. And there's
Yep.
nothing they can do to stop it at that point.
Absolutely. Well, listen. I don't have much to add to that, Whittle. That was amazing. My last comment of 2024. What do we lead the show with? Our injuries. We only have a couple guys. We're as clean as we've ever been on the injury sheet. We're in prime position as long as knock on wood, this all stays the same next couple weeks. Hopefully, we see ball cap Josh in week 17 at some point, right? And we're in prime position. So as we go into 2025, that's all we've asked for. Let's hope we can get a bye week one way or another that last week. Even if we're not the one, if we wrap the two, we can't do anything. I'm okay with that too, as long as we get that week off, and we could get everybody back healthy for the rest of the year. So, Whittle, I hate to go, but I do have to exit stage right for the 2024 season. I mean, of our calendar season, but we're just getting started, right, Whittle? So
That's it.
I want to wish you Merry Christmas, Happy Holiday next week. If I do not
Thank
see
you.
you, and the week after that, I believe will be New Year's. So we'll discuss our schedule, right, in terms of when we do the podcast. I will be back after that as well, and there
Mhm.
it is. There's the graphic of right. Isn't that players that are out on IR pup,
Yep.
right, Whittle? If I
Yep.
believe, and look where we
Yep.
are, folks, right at the bottom. Best shape we've been in the Sean McDermott era. And that's
Yep.
all we've asked for, Whittle. We have what we need. We know we could do it. Now it's just about executing it and knocking it down. So let's get this win. And when I come back from over the pond, let's hope we got another win against the Jets coming up after that. And as we get into the season finale against New England, we'll see where we're going to be.
Good. Don't let us in the door.
That's right.
Don't let us in the door. If you let us in the door, we're going to walk into your trap and take over your trap. Don't let us get one. Don't let us get one. Shout out to everybody that tuned in. Shout out to the Duke Champions. Shout out to all of the mafia on Facebook, the mafia on Twitter, Instagram, everybody watching from home. Um, and more importantly, man, shout out to the chat. Shout out to the Buffalo Bills, man. That's why we're
Yep.
here.
Yep.
Yeah,
Will, shout out to
I
you.
don't have anything else, brother.
It's a pleasure to do this every week, and we look forward to a bigger and better 2025 for the
Absolutely.
podcast and everything. So, I hope everybody out there enjoys their holiday season. Whatever you celebrate, enjoy it. And I will be signing off, and let's just get it done on Sunday. Let's not mess
Let's
around
get
with
it
the
done.
Patriots. Let's get to 12-3. Have a
Don't
great
play
week,
with your
everyone.
food, guys. Everybody have a good night. We'll talk to you next week.
Go Bills.